So when Gigantic was officially put into open beta and players were able to read the patch notes, one thing that caught most people's eyes was this new mechanic called focus priming. The short version, you hit your bound focus button, you prepare to use it. After a delay, you hit the button again, and you use your focus ability. Is this okay? Hello everyone, Wolfie from GG Unleashed here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about focus priming, what it does, where the concept originated from, how it feels to use priming, how players have reacted, and most importantly if this is a good mechanic or not. Let's get right into it. As mentioned before, when you hit your focus ability key, you'll prepare to use your focus. This is indicated by a small chime sound and your current hero glowing with a gold outline. Once you're in this state, you have a couple seconds to hit either your focus key again or the left mouse button, and you will consume all charges you have into a strong ability. If you choose to not use your focus, you can cancel out of it by either dodging, sprinting, or using any other ability. It's important to note that all players, allies, and enemies can see and hear when you are priming, meaning that you'll find it very difficult to be subtle and try to walk into a group of enemies and catch them off guard. Even Trip glows brilliantly gold while priming in stealth. The idea of focus priming came from a response from our Xbox One community. Several players stated that they were annoyed that they'd sometimes use their focus on complete accident since the ability is triggered by pressing both of the controller's thumbsticks simultaneously. And to be honest, I can understand why this has been an issue. If you played any first person or third person game on an Xbox One, 9 times out of 10 the left stick is used to move your character and the right stick is used to move your camera around. With the rapid fluidity of combat Gigantic offers, it's easy to imagine that in the midst of a big skirmish someone would have pressed a little too hard on their thumbsticks and waste a focus on complete accident. Even for PC users, it's not too far of a stretch to fat finger your focus key, as D and F are right next to each other on the keyboard. And once you use the ability, that's it. There's no compensation for missing, there's no oops that wasn't supposed to happen and you get a refund. If there was, imagine how many players would take advantage of that. Players got frustrated that they wasted their well-earned focus and more than likely lost the teamfight because of it. Motiga's response? Focus priming. Now the immediate problem that focus priming has at the moment is that there's this brief delay between when you prime and when you can actually perform the ability, meaning that there's this fairly big window of opportunity for enemies to run or take cover, especially if they're paying attention to the giant glowing particle effect. You could say that this offers another layer of skill and depth to the game by allowing players to react more easily, and the user should compensate for the added delay. But for some heroes, their focus ability isn't always about being able to secure the kill, but it could be integral to their survival. Trip becomes untargetable during her focus animation, meaning that the immediate usage could be the difference between life and death. Voden sometimes needs to focus to get people off of him, Vidasi to reduce her incoming damage, Ashlyn to launch people away. That little half-second window of delay between priming can make a huge difference in a fast-paced game like Gigantic. Imagine for a moment if games such as League of Legends or Overwatch had a mechanic like priming. Some characters already have delays between when they press the button and when the ability effect goes off simply because of animations. Lucio, Genji, Roadhog, Lux, Thresh, all good examples. Their ultimate ability isn't immediate because there's an animation that causes a delay. In Gigantic there's no difference. Before priming, Nasus still had his animation where he's forced to stand still and raise a hand skyward before the spears pierce from the ground, and the damage was still delayed for enemies who were on the outer ring of the ability because the spears expand. So now there's a forced delay after initially priming of 0.35 seconds, the delay of the animation of roughly 0.5 seconds, and then a further delay if the enemy is on the outer ring of the area of effect. And this is just one example. Voden now has to deal with the prime delay, the animation, and compensate for projectile travel time and the delay of the root effect itself before it even takes effect. There's so much time for the enemy to react and avoid, especially considering some focuses can even be iframed. The point I'm making here is that priming essentially doubles the amount of time it takes to use your focus, which in all honesty isn't a good thing considering how fast-paced the game is. There's far too many get-out-of-jail-free cards, if you will. Now with all that in mind, how have players reacted? Well, to be honest, it's been leaning both sides across the board for both Xbox and PC players. Some people find it useful while others find it extremely annoying, and the reasoning comes from the fact of the delays mentioned earlier. People that play these types of games don't want delays, they want immediate results. There's this sense of thrill that comes from timing the ability perfectly and make that epic play or turn on an enemy who's challenging you. No one wants to wait, it makes the game drag and puts focus abilities out of place in conjunction to the game because it messes with the natural fluidity. Why is it only focus abilities that get primed and not all abilities? Why do we have to further delay ourselves and compensate for key moments that might have already passed by the time we actually get results we were looking for? So the original question at the beginning of this video was, is this okay? Is focus priming a good mechanic or not? Well, despite the amount of negativity I've spoken on the subject, personally I think it's too soon to judge as the game has only been in open beta for a couple weeks. I can understand the reasoning behind the creation of priming, and I can understand that on some heroes it can be very useful. Sometimes you do want that delay so you can line up the perfect shot for maximum effect, like Taito's Blur, or Sven's Chaos Quiff, or Beckett's Airstrike. But other times you want an immediate result for those clutch moments where you have the stars aligned and you can make a huge play, like Margrave's Ground and Pound, or Gnosis' Labyrinth, or Wu's Typhoon's Fury. We don't want to mash the buttons and pray that we manage to get lucky and hit because the person didn't run or have a dodge available, so honestly I can't fully commit to being for or against the mechanic. If focus priming does stick around, what I'd like to see is the ability on PC to turn off focus priming on certain characters where I don't want it. The problem though with that is that it wouldn't be fair for Xbox players unless they also gained the ability to turn it off. And if they did, they just have to play extra carefully to not use their focus on accident. Another suggestion would be to combine the priming with the hero's current animation so that they become one and the same, and then there's an immediate payoff when you press the ability key again. Make HK's opening of his hatches or Ashlyn's stabbing into the ground or the pre-mentioned Gnosis raising his hand into the air part of the priming so that players can have more visual ability to see what's about to happen. Instead of having our lovable heroes glowing like vampires, why not make them have special voice lines or sound effects for using their focus ability, even just temporary ones? It would make the game a lot more fun and challenging without adding all the frustrations. What suggestions do you guys have for focus priming? Do you like the mechanic or not? But that's going to be the end of this video. Don't forget to leave your comments full of suggestions for either the video topic or the quality of my videos so I can see what you guys think. If you enjoyed watching, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can see all incoming content. Thanks for watching, have a good day, and I'll see you on the airship.